Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I'm your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson, and I'm a coach, a life strategist, and an energy practitioner. And these look like sparkles, which are appropriate for today, which is holiday here in the US, known as July 4th, known as Independence Day. But maybe you may or may not feel like celebrating that today. And that is the purpose of my card pull. Because we're going to pull some cards, even though you may feel a little. Oh, geez, guys, what did I do here? All right. If you could see the mess on my desk, you would be probably laughing at me, but that's okay. All right. So if you, like me, are not quite sure of how you feel about today's celebrations or how you feel about the state of the world, maybe you are feeling overwhelmed or lost, confused, a little stressed out. Well, I just want to let you know you're not alone. And this is one of the things that I do when I feel a little overburdened, overwhelmed, when I feel like the heaviness of life get to me. I go to my cards because I find that connecting with spirit in that way. Sorry, I'm just like taking off some of the incense fluff here. It's a way that I can connect to spirit that gets me out of my head and into my heart and begins a conversation that I feel is a bit of a give and take, right? Like, we all know, well, I don't know if we all know because that's kind of an assumption, but many people know how to pray and to, even thank God, give gratitude. Like we all, have been taught, not all, like I said, not everybody, but many people know how to pray, know how to ask for what they want, know even how to give thanks for what they have. But sometimes it's hard for us to tune into the quiet or to spirits gentle guidance. And so I find that using the tarot cards or oracle cards, which I'll be using both today, very often are ways that I can, like I said, get out of my own head and allow spirit to, give me little clues or send me breadcrumbs or communicate with me in some way, giving me the hope that I really want. And that I need. And sometimes it's not hope, sometimes it's just information, and that's okay too. Hold on a second. This like dinging is making me nuts. Let's see if I can change that. Boom, ba-doom. Let's see. Let's see if that helps. Let's see if that stops the dinging. And I'll put my phone in silent mode. Okay. Anyway, so I'm sharing this with you because that's how I sort of get through some of the tough stuff when I'm feeling, scared and afraid and I'm looking for guidance or reassurance. I turn to the cards. It's the way I have basically told spirit through my actions that is like through that channel is where I look for answers and assurance. And so I open up that communication in order to receive that guidance that I'm looking for. And so I'm going to use that today as the way that we're going to approach this. I'm sorry, guys. Whew, either spirit's with me or it's perimenopause again because I am starting to sweat. Okay, no, I think it's spirit. Let's go with that. All right. Okay, so today we're going to pull cards on how to reignite your inner light because in these times that feel dark and heavy, what we need most is to connect to our inner light. And then, as I usually, talk about, we want to connect with that inner light and then, broadcast it outward. We want to get ourselves in a place where we feel comfortable and we feel safe enough to shine that light, because when you are shining your light, when you are showing up with love and compassion in the world, then that spreads, just as negativity can spread, just as hatred can spread. I want to encourage you to spread the goodness, to spread the kindness, to spread the love, right? But you have to connect with that inner light first. So we're going to talk about how to reignite your inner life. We're going to talk about how to tap into your sovereignty and strength, all right? Because it is very easy to get swept up in the things that you cannot control. And what I want to do is help bring you back into yourself so that you can focus on the things that you can control, whether it's perspective or making certain decisions or taking certain actions that are in alignment with your highest self. And finally, we're going to pull some cards on how to embody hope and freedom, even when life doesn't feel very hopeful and you may not feel very free. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're watching, please let me know where you're watching from, and say hi and let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. And in the meantime, let's get started. Okay. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths. First, I'm going to light the candle. Light our candles. So we're still doing the abundance candle. Let's set the intention for an abundance of hope, an abundance of freedom, an abundance of sovereignty. That's the intention that I'm going to put out there today, that I can properly reflect the freedom of the people. Okay, that's my intention. Okay, let's take 3 deep breaths and do this together. Deep breath in, and then what I want you to do is when you're breathing in, I want you to feel the life force energy. I want you to call in the love and light and life force that the universe has to offer. I want you to bring it into your body. I want you to hold your breath. And when you hold it, I want you to imagine that energy just going through your whole body, touching each cell and just dissolving and dissipating any energy that is stuck or stagnant and doesn't belong. And when you exhale, you're going to release that energy. Okay, let's do that together. Deep breath in. Let's go. And hold. And release. Okay, let's do that one more time. We're going to do it 2 more times, but let's do this one more time. Okay, deep breath in. And hold. And release. And it is important to allow your exhale to be longer than your inhale, because that is going to activate your parasympathetic system and let your body know that everything's okay and that you are safe and there's no need to fight or flight or fawn at this point, right? We want to get you into your body and connected to your inner strength. All right, let's do it one last time, and then we're going to do a little stretching and release that tension, okay? Here we go. Deep breath in and hold. And release. Okay. Whew. All right. So now we do a little stretching. I always do my neck. If you watch the show, I kind of do like my neck and my upper back. You can stretch whatever you feel like you need to stretch, like whatever, wherever you're feeling tension, wherever you're feeling that stuckness. Okay. I want you to stretch and breathe and release that tension. Connect with your body. Ooh. Okay. Whew. And then we shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Oh my God, I'm like sweating, people. Whew. And it's probably all the hair. Okay. Maybe I need to put my hair back. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to continue to sweat and set our intentions for the day. Okay, so I'm going to call in for my spiritual support team. I encourage you to do the same thing in whatever way you feel comfortable based on your spiritual beliefs. You can meditate, you can say your own prayer, or you can just sit quietly and sort of absorb the prayer that I'm saying and allow it to represent you as well, because that my spiritual support team is your spiritual support team. It's all the same, it's just spirit in whatever way we feel we connect with it. Okay. So here we go. Set my chair. Whew. Okay. Oh my God. All right. Good morning. Anasanka, bon dia, bon dia. Thank you. I wish you a beautiful day too. Thank you so much. Okay. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me. Sorry. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us all set an intention that is in alignment with our highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages through nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull and the words that people say today and always. I appreciate you. I serve you. And I am grateful for any wisdom that you may have for me or the collective on this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. And so it is. All right. So now I would like you to just set your intention for the day with whatever your intentions are, okay, how you want to show up for the day. But also, if you have a GPS word, now's a good time to reflect on that GPS word and think about how you want to anchor in to that GPS word today. If you don't know what I'm talking about or what a GPS word is, then I encourage you to go ahead into my profile and download my free transformational guide. And that will give you tips on how to find your GPS word and some energy hacks and ways to kind of get through the tough things in life, just a little few tips and tricks and energy hacks, basically. So you can go ahead and do that. The description, the link is in the description, as well as the link to my YouTube channel. So if you are not watching on YouTube right now and you would like to subscribe, please go ahead and do that. That very much helps me. And ding that notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live again, which is usually during the week, Monday through Friday in the morning. And if you would like a personal reading or a couples reading or a strategy session, then I'm available for that too. You can also book through my description on the link. I use Calendly, so you can go ahead and do that as well. So now that we've covered business, let's get to it, right? Let's get down to it. Oh, bon dia, hi, Dad. Happy birthday, America. Yeah, okay. Good morning, Ernie. Hello, welcome. Okay, so it's okay. It's easy to kind of feel a little scared or lonely or abandoned when the world feels so heavy and disconnected from compassion and love. And whether that's something, whether you are feeling that way because of whatever's happening in your personal life, and I know that there are so many people really going through it right now, or whether you're feeling that way because you're afraid of what's happening in your country, in our country, or anywhere across the globe, things are making you anxious or nervous because you don't know what to expect. It can really shake your sense of peace and security, okay? And that is why today's theme is about pulling oracle cards to embody hope and freedom, okay? And in the true sense of the word, freedom, in the sense of your own personal sovereignty, being able to make decisions for yourself, being able to stand in your power. And you may not be able to control the circumstances outside of you, but you can absolutely make the best of things for yourself and embody what hope and freedom look like for you, even within the circumstances that you live in. And it's really important that you reach for that you hang on to that, and that you embody it and show it as much as possible. Wait, if you can bring hope and freedom into your life, then that is going to be the energy of hope and freedom that you are then reflecting and sharing with the world. And the more of us can do that, the more people will feel like they too have the option to connect with hope and freedom. And if everybody feels hope, and if everybody connects with their personal freedom, well, then that's going to bring all of us to a whole other level of understanding, a whole other level of compassion in the world. Really, I hope. Anyway, that's my wish, and that's what I'm working for. Okay, so let's explore let's pull some cards, okay? So the first thing is, how do we stay connected to hope when everything feels uncertain? Okay, I'm going to start with my Luna Soul Tarot deck, which I really love. Okay, and it is by Darren Schill and Kay Medaglia. For those of you who are interested, I don't have any links to the cards yet. I guess I should, or I could. I haven't done that, but I like to show what I use. So these will be the first ones that I use, and then I'm going to clarify with the wisdom of the Oracle deck, which, as you guys know, is one of my favorites, and I may pull some other cards too, but we'll start there. Okay. So we're asking Spirit how to stay connected to hope when everything feels uncertain. Okay, because we need to figure out how to amplify the energy that we want to see in the world. Okay, even when things feel scary. Okay, then you need to hold on to and embody security or safety, right? Like, how can you create safety in your life, right? And when you feel hopeless, you need to figure out how to create hope. And that's a little bit around like kind of what I want to do today is, like I said, ask guidance, ask Spirit for guidance on how to stay connected to hope when everything feels uncertain. Okay, these two cards pulled up. Okay. I mean, here we go. Okay, these are the two cards that came up. Okay, it's the Ace of Discs. Okay, which is, oops, I can't do this backwards. The Ace of Discs. Okay, which in most tarot decks is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, and what are pentacles? We've talked about this. Pentacles are all about material things, earthly things, right? Things on this physical plane. So when you manifest something and bring it to life, your creation is created in the physical, right? So the Ace of Discs is like the heart of creation, right? The heart of manifesting physical things, right? And look at this star, the star. Okay, this could not be more indicative of hope, right? Because we are the light. The star is you, the star is me, the star is within each of us. The star is that hope, that light within us, that when we connect with that light within us, okay, and then bring that light, right, and embody that light and bring that power into fruition, into our creations, into the physical world, right, which means you're making decisions and taking actions from this place of being connected to your inner power, to your inner authority, to your inner light, and then bringing it in and creating with it, creating whatever it is that you're doing. What you want is to create the path for hope, and by creating new things and planting new seeds, you are allowing that energy to continue with that hope, right? Because when you plant a seed, then that, just the mere fact that you plant it, means that you have hope that it will blossom and grow, right? What is that? Is it a parable or a saying? It's oh God, it's that saying where it's like, the people who plant the trees, or hope is people who plant trees knowing that they will never enjoy the shade of that tree. Okay, I totally like massacred that, but you know what I'm saying, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to continue to connect with our inner light and use that inner light as the force of our creation. And so creating everything through that light. I mean, we do that anyway, but the creations that we bring into the physical world, if we filter them through the shadow, filter them through the darkness, filter them through the fear, right? Then what we're creating is the light being filtered through that, with that fear, with that, it's like it blocks that beautiful, pure life force energy. And you don't want to block it. You want to allow it to come through so that you can create from that space of connection. Okay, let's see what the clarification is on this one from the wisdom of the oracle. I have a little coffee. Okay, here we go. What is the clarification on this? So the question was, how to stay connected to hope when everything feels uncertain. Okay. And I want to point out also in this card, even though we're getting the clarification, she is like part earth, part water, right? It's a little bit like that temperance where it's an alchemical reaction. You have to be a little bit in both worlds and trust that you can bring what is in your light into fruition in the physical world. It is part of that co-creation. All right. All right, wisdom of the oracle. Give me some hope. Give me some hope. Okay, here we go. All right, come to the edge. Number 36, which, 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 is a very powerful number, and it did come upside down. So let's see what this says and what that means. This is like, so before I read it, I just want to say that intuitively what I'm feeling is that we really do need to trust ourselves and bring ourselves, like, we are all at the precipice of great change, right? And this is like, come to the edge, like, just come to the very edge, feel the change, feel the transition coming. Okay. And look, she's like throwing hope into the air, even though she's in a very precarious spot, right? She's just kind of like balancing on this rock in the middle of nowhere, right? In the clouds. But she is spreading her love everywhere. Let's see what the card has to say. You'd think I know all these meanings by heart, and I kind of do, but no. All right, courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. So facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now's the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration you ready yourself for. Okay, now's the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Sprint. Spirit is in the present. So let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. Okay, that really hit me. Okay, so I'm going to read the protection message because this came upside down and I really think that this is important. I'm sorry if I'm feeling emotional today. It's just, I feel a lot of things really intensely. Okay, so fear is leading the way into places you don't need to go. Most of what you fear at the moment is an illusion stemming from an old belief that isn't even true. Now is the time for courage. You will not be lost at sea. You will not watch everyone else get what you want while you are left alone and unloved. Oh, the drama of it all. False evidence appearing real is hovering over you. The more you dwell on fear, the more real it will become. Ask yourself, who in me is afraid? Love that part of you. Ask, is this true and real right now? The answer most likely is no. Give yourself a hug. It's okay to be scared. Courage must be summoned. In spite of your fear, even when you're not feeling confident, spirit will always catch you. Okay. Was not expecting to be like emotionally torn up by that message, but I believe it's true. Because you will not be abandoned. But you have to hold the line. You have to hold space for hope. You have to hold space for your own freedom. Okay. Whew. Okay. Let's ask the next question. I don't know what's going to happen when I pull the rest of the cards, but okay. Bear with me in my emotional state because I am a sensitive soul. All right. So next, how to access freedom even when you feel trapped or overwhelmed. That's a good one. All right. So, like, there are a lot of circumstances happening right now where people are terrified of the results of many, many actions that have been taken by people in positions of power here in this country and all over the world. And if you feel that way and you feel lost and afraid, and maybe like you feel trapped in this world that makes no sense, right? How can you connect with your own personal freedom? How can you access that feeling of freedom when you don't feel very free? So let's ask spirit. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'll do it. All right. How to access freedom when you feel trapped or overwhelmed. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Oh, okay. Well, that one came out. Oh. All right. Here we go. The card that came out sideways is the Hanged Man. Okay. Now the Hanged Man it makes perfect sense because the Hanged Man is in waiting. Okay. And what the hangman does, that energy of the hangman, is that the hangman knows that everything is going to work out for the highest good. And so the hangman waits patiently in confidence that things are going to evolve in the best and highest good, right? For the best and highest good, right? It is this. Like if you look, I'm going to turn it upside down so you can really see. You see that light behind him. You see that it's like he's upside down here. And it could be, he, she, doesn't matter, right? Upside down here, just like the bat, right? And that's interesting. I actually just noticed the bat for the first time, right? And you have the bat here. And then you have over here, the dove of peace, right? And it's balancing that darkness and that light. It is balancing your shadow and your hope, right? And knowing that, as things seem uncertain, that it's really holding on to hope, holding on to faith, and anchoring yourself into the truth that you know deep inside your heart, the truth that you are connected to spirit, and the truth that well-being is the ultimate I was going to say the ultimate goal, but it's like the ultimate state of being that is all natural to each of us, but circumstances in the world have created this sense of, ill-being, right? Where we are constantly trying to fix ourselves, improve ourselves, change ourselves. And I think that we need to shift into acceptance. We need to shift into understanding that there is an ebb and flow of life. And sometimes things are good and sometimes things are bad. And sometimes things feel really tough and sometimes they feel a little easier. But I want to say that if you hold on to your own sense of power, your own sovereignty, knowing that there are choices that you still can make, that nobody can take the power away from you. Nobody can take the power away from your perspective. Nobody can remove your sense of self unless you allow it. Nobody can remove your connection to spirit unless you have disconnected yourself from spirit, right? And when you are connected, you have hope, you have a chance, and you definitely have the freedom to evolve into the person who you choose to be, right? With every choice, with every action, it is in your hands to embody the light, the freedom, and the hope that you want to see in the world. I know I repeat myself a lot, but it's just like I think we all need the reminder. Let's see what the Oracle card has to say about clarifying that. Are these upside down? Yes. Okay. So let's not have them all upside down, even though everything feels upside down lately. All right. Almost there. Yep. Okay. Talk to me. How do we access freedom even when we feel trapped? Oh, that stopped right away. Okay, here we go. A leg up. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7, and this is a leg up, right? And I just want to point out that 7, right? When you see like a 7, it's like working towards something. It's reflecting on what you have, right? It's really sort of, it is. The 7 is like, it's considered good luck, but it's also reflecting on the things that you do have in the present, right? And a leg up this is a message to start building community, to lean into who you have and what you have around you that is working. Lean into the systems that do work, lean into community, lean into each other, right? Because a leg up is literally like you can't get up by yourself, right? A leg up is literally somebody putting their hands out to give you like a boost, right? And so this message deep down inside, I think, is letting us know like we have the power within ourselves, and also we have to start building community and building partnerships and understanding that working together and interdependence is what's going to build a stronger foundation for each of us individually and for us as a community and as a country and as a world. When we stop turning away from each other and othering each other and saying like you're the problem or you're a mistake or you're a this or that, and start really like take your focus away from the things and from the people and the situations that are not serving you, unless you can take action, right? That shifts whatever that external challenge is, right? Like if you can make a decision or take steps or set boundaries for yourself that is going to improve that situation, that challenge, that relationship, right? Then you take the actions that you need to take in order to improve that situation. But if you are in a situation where you have no control over what's happening outside of you, because that does happen and that is the situation for many people, then you need to turn that focus inward, right? And you need to put your attention, your time, and your focus on the people and the communities that you can build, that where there is hope, where there is a chance to change, right? So that's where you have your power. Okay, 34. I'm going to read this here, and then I'm going to ask one more card, and then we're going to wrap it up because we all have things to do, I'm sure. Okay, so 34. Here we go. A leg up. Receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. We can't do it alone. We cannot change the world by ourselves. We can start from within, but we can't do it alone. We have to come together. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles can happen. Now is such a time. Okay? I'm even going to tell you, I'm going to read you the protection message because it's important that you know why leaning into community is important, okay? The protection message is, so that would be if this was upside down, but very often the protection message will also reflect what you need to know, and why this is important, right? Are you always insisting on doing everything yourself? By the way, that's a trauma response, okay? Do you have little faith that help will come, convinced that the burden of the world is doomed to remain on your shoulders? Again, a trauma response. Your beliefs about going it alone need to be discarded as they do not serve you at all. Let others help you. Yes, it will make you feel vulnerable to admit that you need a helping hand, but to be vulnerable is good, for you have a lesson to learn. You must let someone else assist. You can't do life all by yourself. We can't do this by ourselves. We need to go back to building communities of people who can count on each other, who can work with each other, who can share with each other resources, information, education, everything. Once you shift your expectations, you'll be amazed by how quickly help arrives to give you a leg up. I really believe that we can build community if we try. We have to try. We have to show up for each other. especially when it's uncomfortable. But okay, that's that's that part of the message. Okay. All right, so the last question, and then we're going to wrap it up because it's been a while. How to reclaim your light, your sovereignty, and your inner power, right? How do you reclaim it? Let's see. Let's see what the cards say that you have to do to reclaim that inner light, your inner power. Like, let's reclaim it. All right. How do we reclaim our inner light, our inner power, and our sovereignty in this world that feels a little scary sometimes? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. King of Swords. I mean, this is like, could not be better. The King of Swords. Okay. So the king is, of course, a great reflection of the suit, right? The king is the all business side of the sword suit, right? Of information. The swords is also like thoughts and, like I said, like sort of thoughts and brain work, please. It is your thoughts, information, messages, right? And the King of Swords, once again, this is the person who like cuts it out, sets boundaries, right? Does not put up with anything that does not directly support their vision for the future, their vision for what they want, right? Nobody messes with the king, right? The king will cut off your head, okay? The king will just cut out anything that does not serve the kingdom, right? And what is the kingdom? The kingdom in this case is your hope and your freedom, right? And you have the power to protect your hope and your freedom. And how are you going to do that? You are going to do that by cutting out, eliminating, or reducing contact with anything and anyone that you can that does not support your vision for hope, your vision for freedom, right? You want to embody this as much as possible and limit your exposure or reduce your exposure to anything that creates doubt or uncertainty on your journey, right? You want to lean into strengthening your hope, lean into strengthening your freedom, start making decisions and taking actions that support the idea that you have that hope is alive and very much in existence. So, what steps can you take that will anchor in hope? What steps can you take that will anchor in your freedom, where you feel your personal sovereignty, right? What or who do you need to cut out of your life that infringes on your vision for what you think is possible, right? Now, you can take this in many different ways. And I just said, like, we need to build community. And I also said, you need to cut people and things out, right? And there is room for all people and all ideas and all philosophies and all perspectives, right? We need to work together for a common principle, for a common goal, which hopefully is to raise the level of humanity so that everybody feels seen, everybody feels witnessed. Seen and witnessed is kind of the same thing, but it's a big deal. Validated, right? And everybody feels like they belong. Everybody feels like they can contribute and be a part of the community and be a part of our world, right? And how can we do that? How can we begin with ourselves? What do you need to do to feel part of the world, to feel part of community? What do you need to cut out that is not serving you, that's making you feel isolated, alone, and abandoned, right? Let's go through the steps that we went through this week of healing your inner wounds, right? Go through things step by step, name it, validate it, right? Introspect it, like do some introspection and understand where those wounds lie, and slowly but surely peel away the layers of that onion, understanding where that pain and trauma comes from, and then learning how to shift and make new choices and new decisions based on that information, based on your reflection, based on what you know feels better for you. It feels better for you to show up in the world as someone with hope and light than it does for someone to feel for you to show up in the world as someone who feels like everything's falling apart. Now, it may be falling apart. You may feel it, you may be experiencing it, and you don't want to ignore it, but also you don't want to focus on only the falling apart. It's like, yeah, right? This part is falling apart, but look here, right? Like here we cracked, I know I don't like this analogy, but it's what came to me, like you crack some eggs to make an omelet. Okay. So like some things have to fall apart in order for us to build something new. You have to decide for yourself what parts of your life do you need to crack or shed or pull away from in order for you to build the omelet that you want, right? Which kind of vegetables are you going to put in there? Like you're going to add salt and pepper, right? Like you get to choose what you want to make. You may not have a choice of where you get your eggs, but you have a choice of how you make your eggs. What you do with them is in your hands, right? What you do with life, what you do with your opportunities, what you do with your challenges, that is in your hands and that is your responsibility. So how are you going to own that responsibility? Know that you have a say in your future. And what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to move forward to make sure that you are embodying the hope and freedom that you want to see in the world? Okay. Lecture over. No, not quite. Okay, I'm going to pull a clarification card for that with the Oracle deck. Okay, again, did I just put this upside down again? Oh, these are like all over the place. Some are upside down, some are not. Okay, whatever. We'll see what happens. Ah. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't know what I did there, so let's just see what happens. Okay. All right. Okay. So here are the two cards that just like popped out, all right? How to reclaim your light, your sovereignty, and your inner power. Okay, we had the King of Swords, which is cutting out the things that don't serve you. And here are the two cards that came up. Okay, we've got Truth Be Told. Okay, 1 and 4 is 5. 5 is the number of change. So this is looking at things with truth and honesty, like really looking at things. It is introspection. It is looking at things without rose-colored glasses. It's really understanding the truth and the reality of what your life really is, what your capacity is, what your situation is, what your challenges are, what you're really capable of at this time. It's time to be brutally honest with yourself so that you know where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses lie. And wherever your weaknesses lie, it's time to team up, right? Like that other card, right? Where you need a leg up, team up with somebody who then has those. Where you have weaknesses, they have strengths. And chances are, wherever they have weaknesses, that is your strength, right? So you start to team up with people who you can support, and in turn, they can support you and have that reciprocal, feeling, right? So this is a little bit of, really looking at things from a very realistic perspective. And then the next card I love too, right? And this is 28. Okay, now 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 is the completion of a cycle, right? And it makes sense that the cycle is completing of things the way they have been up until now. And it's time to create new foundations, the building blocks. Everything that has happened, it's like the big tower moment, right? Like we have had a tower, a collective tower moment where nothing is what it appeared to be. Nothing is what it seems. Life feels completely upside down. Nobody really seems to know what's going on or what end is up. And that's a scary place to be. But what you can do is lean into your personal strength. You can lean into your hope, right? And start grabbing onto the things that you know are true for you, right? Truth be told, right? And building a new foundation based in truth and authenticity, right? Which I hope includes love and compassion, right? So that you can create your house for the future. Your future will be built on the building blocks that you hold on to and add to the foundation right now. Like everything's falling apart. So if you're going to pick up a rock, make sure that that rock is something that you want to carry with you on this new journey. If you don't want to carry that rock, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't serve you, or it's a limiting belief that is just preventing you from seeing the possibilities of your success or seeing the possibilities of hope, well, then you put that rock down. It is not for you. And you pick up the one that gives you hope. You pick up the pieces of evidence that show you what is possible. You pick up the things that are important to you, that are a priority for you, and you put your time and attention and focus on building your house with the things that you want, not on including a bunch of things because that's that's other people's expectations. That is what we need to release more than anything, is other people's expectations, other people's agendas. That is where you find your personal freedom, is when you are no longer doing things for approval, when you are no longer doing things to please others, but you are now building the life that you want because you know that you're the boss of your life and that you're the one that has to be in control and making the decisions that you need for yourself. And if that makes other people unhappy or uncomfortable, then that is what you need to practice. You need to practice being okay with making other people uncomfortable. You need to practice being okay with having other people not understand you and maybe make you feel terrible about your choices. But if you are connected to those choices, then you don't have to worry, because just like the temperance card, everything is going to work out because you are connected with your inner spirit and you know that it is going to evolve exactly as it needs to evolve for your highest and greatest good. Okay, I'm going to read these two cards from the book, and then I'm going to wrap it up, of course, because I've been on here for 45 minutes and you guys are probably done listening to me. But if not, then that's okay too. Or if you want your own personal reading, go ahead and use the link in my bio in order to book a reading with me. All right, so truth be told is the first one. Okay, number 14, honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. If you have been hiding or masking to protect yourself or to fit in, this is the time to release all of that. Be who you are, wildly, unapologetically, weird or crazy or loud or whoever you are. Be who you are, connect with that, and believe and understand that the people who love you and accept you and understand you will always be there for you. And that anyone else who doesn't understand you or doesn't want to understand you or doesn't like you or has issues with you or is uncomfortable around you, well, then they don't belong in your life. And that's okay. You can release that. There is nothing wrong with you. There's probably nothing wrong with them either. It just doesn't work, right? Like, there's a reason why, like, tigers are not friends with meerkats. It's okay, right? Tigers have their own set of friends and meerkats have their own set of friends. They don't really hang out. And it doesn't mean that, tigers are jerks and meerkats are awesome or the other way around. It just means that they run in different circles and they have different needs and priorities and they have different roles in their animal kingdom. And each of us, we need to accept that too. Like, we all have our own sort of selves to connect with, and as such, there's people that we work with, there's people that are in our community that we can work with and that we can build something with, and then there's other people that they need to work on something else and they need to form a different community and work on different things, and they have different skills and different contributions that they add to the world. Notice how I said, like, they have different contributions, not that they are like they don't belong. It's just that they have their own purpose. Each person has their own purpose, their own mission, and their own way that they function well, that they thrive. And you need to just connect yourself. Well, first of all, accept who you are, accept how you function, accept what makes you thrive, and stop thinking that you're broken or you need to be fixed if you don't fit in whatever capacity you've been told you don't fit, right? Find where you feel connected. Lean into what works for you and stop trying to fix yourself because you think you're broken. All right, that's truth be told. Okay, building blocks is the next one, 28. Okay, and then that's it, I promise. I mean, you guys are still around, so maybe you're enjoying it. Let me know if you are. Okay, 27, 28, building blocks. Okay, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they still stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you're making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. I love that. Okay. Um, so I'm going to read the protection message because I think, again, that this is an important aspect for whoever needs to hear this. Okay. Now's the time to address the cracks in the foundations of your life. Perhaps your values have changed, and it is time to strengthen your convictions and let go of the things that no longer serve the vision you have for your life. Or perhaps you choose to ignore the signs that a situation or agreement you have entered into is not right for you. Remove the rotten pieces and reinforce your core moral strength and integrity. Now is the time for rigorous honesty, for you are called to renovate and upgrade your consciousness. You will be so happy when you do. Spirit has a spectacular blueprint for your life, far beyond your imagination. Don't be afraid to replace what's not solid. All right. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed Fun Friday. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And if you are spending time with the family and you are enjoying the holiday today, then I hope that the food is delicious and the company is amazing. And I hope you feel hope and freedom and joy in your day. Wishing you a lovely weekend. Once again, keep shining your light. I love you, and we got this. We can do it. All right. Have a great day. Bye.